Alright, my friends. This morning I decided that I needed to do a vlog of a impromptu kind of last minute date that I had last night. It was very, um, like I said, it was very last minute. It was casual. It was like, and that's how I like to kind of keep things in the beginning. So the backstory is I had been talking to this guy that I had met in a social network, or dating social network, if you will. And it started out, just talking, online and stuff, and then it ended up progressing into like phone conversations and stuff like that. And he seemed like a really nice guy, um, and his accent is really, really, charming, and some of the things he would say to me was charming and whatever. So we haven't really planned anything, um, you know, in the near future or whatever. But last night, I wasn't doing anything, and he just so happened to be in the area. And so he asked me if I wanted to go to this Japanese steakhouse. And I said, I already ate. I said, so I'm not like really, hungry. And I was like, who are you with, Because he was already in the area, and he was just like, hey, I'm like near you. Like, I'm going to stop at this steakhouse. Like, of course I should have been like, who does that? Who just like stops at like this hibachi grill, right? And he was with his sister. And so I was like, okay, I already ate, so would that be rude? And if you ever know, like, how the hibachi thing is, I really wasn't thinking that it would be rude, because I was going to be arriving late already, probably after the dinner already started, and I wasn't doing anything. It was right around the corner, and so maybe this is where my spontaneity kind of gets me in trouble. But, so I arrive at this place, and it's later, like, it's after normal dinner time. It's very quiet in there, and there's, like, maybe, one table of patrons. So I walk in, and it's just like kind of like a little bit of a ghost town, and I asked the hostess who's greeting me. I was like, "Hi, I'm here to I'm looking for a guy and his sister." Like, I didn't know what else to say. And she goes, "Oh, they're here. Are you looking for Stan?" And that's his name. And I was like, "Yes." And so she takes me to the table, like way in the back of the restaurant. And I don't see Stan. I see like a soft drink, and then like where he was probably is sitting or whatever. I just figured he's in the restroom. But then there's this girl, and she's got like these crutches, and she's sitting there. And at this point, she's clearly delayed a little bit. Like, she was very awkward, and so I knew she had some sort of mental disability or a special need or of some sort, because she was just like, I was like, "Hi, I'm Jeremy," and she was just like very not really receptive to the whole thing. So at one point I'm like, "Did you know I was coming?" And she was like, "Yeah," but it was just really awkward. So anyway, so the hostess, she's like, just kind of looking at me. I'm like, "So where's Stan?" And she's like, "Oh, he's in the back. Follow me." And I'm like, "Okay." So I go back there, and here comes Stan in a bright green t-shirt, which is really kind of really really bright. I love the colors, like a lime green, and then he had like a sweater vest and a pair of jeans on, very tall, slender, cute, just like the pictures, and great smile. And he has this like tray, like a Burger King tray, like the tray that you take your food and sit down at a fast food place. And he comes out of the kitchen of this restaurant with this big smile, and he has like this pot of tea, and then these little tiny like teacups like on the tray, and he's like, "Hi," and I'm just like, "Hi." I was like, "Do you work here?" And he's like, "No," and I'm like, "I didn't think so," because I know what he does for a living. He works in his parents' Polish deli. So I was like, okay, so this I didn't even ask. I was just like, So we go back to the table, and he's like, "Do you want some tea?" And I'm like, "No, thanks." And then he's like, "Well, what can I get you?" And like, meanwhile, I'm like, what's going on here? Because all that was on the hibachi grill thing was rice, and this chef was just cooking the crap out of this rice. Like, it was just I was like, is he gonna add any veggies or meat? And I was like, what are they gonna eat? Do they just eat rice? And like, I don't know. It was really weird. So Stan asked, you know, because the waitress came by and she's like, hi, you know, are you gonna have some tea? What can I get you? Drink? And I was just kind of like, I don't know. She was telling me her soft drinks, and Stan was like, get whatever you want. And so I was like, okay, vodka soda with a lime, lady. And I was like, you know, your well is fine. I don't need anything, you know, upscale or whatever. So, because at this point now, like, Stan and his sister are like in this big rush. They've got to like eat their rice and go. And I'm like, we can't hang out and talk and this and that. He's like, no. He's like, we've got to go clean an office. We clean offices at night. And I was like, okay. So I'm thinking he takes his disabled sister to clean offices at night. And now it's apparent that he has a disability too. And I'm not saying that in any, like, negative way at all, because he's a really sweet guy. But now it's all kind of like adding up. Like, the whole him coming out of the kitchen and then of the restaurant, and then just, I see now that he has like a walker at this point, and just everything was just going through my head, like, where's the camera? All right, guys, all right, I'm ready, you know. And so anyway, but like we all left together. They were in a rush. They were rushing me. I'm like sipping my drink down. Like, I seriously only had like 5 minutes to drink my drink. So we're all kind of walking out, and then I'm kind of wondering, like, who's driving? Because she's on crutches, and he had already told me that he didn't drive for medical reasons, and I wasn't intrusive about it. You know, I figured we would talk about it in person at one point. You know, I assumed, just being in the field that I am, maybe he has a seizure disorder or something. Clearly he has, you know, something going on. You know, because he was telling me he has Medicaid, and he was like asking me for help, like, being that I work in healthcare. And so anyway, I'm just like, back to me, like, what is going on? I'm thinking, who's driving? I just kind of like didn't really want to get into it. So I get in my car, and I immediately dial a friend, because I'm like, someone needs to know about this. And so I'm talking for a minute, you know, just kind of de-stressing, and then 3 waitresses run out to my car, and they're just like, hello, like, waving me down, and I'm just parked. I'm like chilling. I'm like, what's up? And she's like, you didn't pay for your drink. And I was like, come again? And she's like, you didn't pay for your drink. And I was like, I know. I was like, didn't Stan take care of it? And this just goes back to like the demeanor. He was like, you know, oh, it's, you know, what do you want? You know, that type of thing. Like, he invited me out, and so I wasn't, you know, we were in such a rush. I didn't witness the whole paying process, and maybe I should have been more diligent, but, you know, I'm like, oh. I was like, okay, so I get out my wallet, I give her a 10, and she goes inside, and then comes and brings me change, and I'm just like, wow. So, anyway, a friend of mine wanted to see a picture of him, because I was telling her about this whole thing, and she's just cracking up about, you know, everything, and I couldn't find the picture on the social media app where we met. So he had blocked me, and I'm like, why did he block me? Like, what did I do? So I did a text message this morning and just said, how was the rest of your night? Meaning, you know, the cleaning. And anyway, that's my story. And so now we're down to, I'm not even going to go there, but that's my vlog. And whether you get a laugh out of it, and any feedback is welcome. Just don't be mean to me, because a lot of my friends recently know about my about my high school band and color guard practice suggestion, and I'm already deemed crazy. So I hope you enjoyed that little 9-minute story. If you ever think you have it as bad as the next person, just relive this whole thing in your head. Alright, well, onward and forward. You guys have a blessed Thursday, and smooches. Bye.